All right, good day and you're welcome. Today we have the amazing Coach Dozier. We have the amazing Coach Dozier in the house. And if you can hear me, you can see me. Let me see your comment in the comment section and let me see you. So we've been sharing about my intentional parenting journey. This will be the first time Coach Dozier is on my intentional parenting journey series. Interesting. And Coach Dozier is my brother, friend, mentee, name it, everything. You know that the people I mentor, they're everything. They join everywhere. You know, something happens, they are the ones call them, and they don't have a choice. They appear. Thank you so much, Dozier, for always
Morning,
being.
coach.
Good morning. So Dozier is going to be sharing with us about his journey as an intentional parent before being a parent. I think I like that part. So Dozier is a teens coach. Dozier is a teens coach. He's the founder of Teen Success Academy, which my son is also part of. So you're looking for a team mentor. You have Dozier in the building. Dozier is the creator of the amazing boot camp that happens every summer. All right, it's a virtual boot camp for teenagers. And Dozier is the author of Teenagers of the Bible. If you are a yada, you don't have Teenagers of the Bible, you're on your own. That book is our devotional. In fact, it was our devotional for a whole term. In fact, at the time, I had 13 children in my house, and we used to bring out Teenagers of the Bible. And different people say, no. So why did Uncle D now say it is now like this? We'll now go to the Bible. As in, it was one of the most interesting stuff we have ever used as devotional ever. All right. And it is so amazing. That book is available on Amazon for those of us who are not aware that Coach Jose has a book like that. All right. And I'm dragging him to write more books. I'm dragging him. I'm his coach, so I'm dragging him. I'm dragging him by the tail. You don't want to know how.
Oh my God.
He has so much. Does he has so much inside that he must bring out. He's not dying with them. We must make sure that he brings it out before he dies. All right.
We'll
So
bring it out.
Dozier is also a yada. Dozier does not have children yet, but he's a yada. So, many times people come to me and say, this inner circle thing, I'm single. Will it profit me? I remember after the induction of the very first level, I remember after the induction, Dozier sent me a chat and he said to me, so coach, do me well. Oh. I was like, what did I
At
do?
all. At all.
I was like, what did I do?
Oh,
He said, the inner circle has been there. You didn't drag me into the inner circle. I don't understand. Why would something be happening like this and I'm not inside? For how many years? And this is the first time I'm getting in. I didn't know how to respond to that thing. I didn't even say anything because honestly, I didn't know what to say. Anyway, so here we are. And Dozier is also one of the speakers of the TIP annual conference. So Dozier doesn't just speak at TIP annual conference. Dozier also speaks at TIP Summit. TIP Summit is the physical event that we do in the year, and Dozier speaks at TIP Annual Conference. Dozier is also going to be speaking at TIP Annual Conference. And very importantly, Dozier is one of my manest man. Those things, those phrases that you can use back. And during the TIP Annual Conference, people like Dozier don't sleep. That's the truth. I don't even know how the team brought him to come and do my intentional parenting journey because I am sure that Dozier is not sleeping well. And when he's done, I will say, come, let us settle this. And he say, coach, just leave me where I am. I don't know. So if you people have your emojis, you people should help me and thank Dozier. Let's start from there. Because, for instance, at the Fathers Conference, all of the tech things that you saw, Dozier led that team. And it is something that many of the times people say, this thing was so wonderful. How did you do it? And all of that. So you can see some of the men behind, the system. Now, Dozier is here. Let me allow Dozier to speak since I have been speaking. You're welcome.
thank you very much, coach. Thank you. I don't even know how to say the thank you, but thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for TIP. Thank you for the other things that are not in the front of TIP. I'm very, very, I'm very, very grateful. So as I just said that to now, I remember something, but let's leave that one aside. Good morning, everybody. Uh, it's good to be here. Good to be here. Thank you very much, everybody in the comment section. I see you. Yes, I went to, excuse me, I went to hound Coach Wendy in her office after my first week in the inner circle, and I went to collect from it was if you join TIP, I don't know how much it is for the next session, but for granted your money will finish in week one. That is something that is for granted. So when I saw all of that, and I had been learning about structure, putting structures together. When coach talks about the so many different things that we do, the only way that that is possible is that you're able to put structures around this is how this works, this is how this works, this is how this works. So here was me coming into TIP inner circle. Meanwhile, I've been in TIP for a while, but not in the yard. And then I come into this place and I see all of the structure and all of what is going on. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. But to God be the glory, we stay in the same city. So I just boom straight to Coach Wendy's office. And I went to ask her why. Why did you do this to me? Okay, why did you? And so in a moment, let me speak to those who are not quote and unquote parents. And I say that only in a biological sense. Okay. You don't have a child, you are single, you are not married, and you're thinking, okay, coach, somebody sent me a message last week. The same thing. Someone sent me a message last week. And this is my friend for years now. And she sent me a message. She said, you did me wrong. She had joined the TIP inner circle. And almost like all these things that we have been seeing you do, now I understand. I said, what did you understand? What did I do? So that was when she started telling me her own intentional parenting journey, how that she had come in. She had been a teens coach for as long as I've known her, married with kids, and she now tells me it's different. It's different from this and then being inside here and learning. Now I know how you're doing all the things you're doing. Now I understand even some of the things that you used to say, So I think it's just like that. You can come out and just like Coach Wendy will always say, if you're not in the inner circle, there are so many things that we would say. There are so many things that coach will say. The thing will just fly over your head. You did not get it. And you probably would also quarrel with it. You probably will argue with it. But if you are in a system where, that's the word, if you are in a system where you can put knowledge, structured knowledge, and then you're able to know, you might not eventually get to use all of it, but then you are there and you understand your process. So even if you're not doing something, you know exactly what you're not doing right, so that when you start seeing certain manifestations, you know where it is coming from. So when parents come to me these days and they have all of these issues with their teenagers and stuff, I just know exactly where to put my hand on. And so I just ask one question. They say, oh, that question you just asked me now, that is what I said. Well, I've listened to you, and it's like a doctor that has gone to train for his job. All right. I used to say that who you know is more important than some of the things you know. And so your knowledge, as abundant as it might seem, if you're not in the right network, if you're not in the right space, implementation becomes a challenge, practice becomes a challenge. And so with
Yeah.
all the struggles that young people are having in this generation and in our time, you just want to be in an environment where you have a bit of structure that is helping you to, because that's the biggest challenge that most of us, whether a parent or a young person, that's the biggest challenge that we have. It's about being able to structure knowledge. Knowledge is
Mm.
abundant now. Knowledge
Mm.
is everywhere. You can download information every. There are websites dedicated to giving you all manner of free books. So you
Mm.
can say, why is coach writing one book? Why is she even bothering me to write this other book that I'm supposed to write? But that's not the issue. You can have 1,000 books in your library, but where do you even begin from? Imagine a first year student getting into that big library in school. The question is,
Mm.
which one should I read first? How do I begin to put all of this into practice? And that's what the TIP inner circle does for you. By the way, coach, let me show you. So this is my journal. This is my TIP journal. I had to go, and so every day, this is it. So every day as we're talking, as we're talking, I am pulling it out. Even sometimes that I might not be live, I might not be there live, and but somehow at the end of maybe a week or something, I get to sit down with all of those teachings, all of those classes, and then I get to eventually write. Coach Wendy knows me. Um, I'm more tech than I am pen and paper. But Coach Wendy we hound me to go and carry hard copy things. So I've learned to do hard copy things, and this is me. This is us. Thank you very much, Coach Wendy. It's been an amazing journey. Knowing Coach Wendy and then knowing the TIP inner circle. There are two different things. They are really, really two different things. You want to do yourself a favor and be the thing where the thing is being cooked, where the meal is being cooked, so that you don't go outside and be sharing things that are trending. There's difference between things that are trending and things that are working. You want to be sharing the
I
things that are
know.
working. All right.
So we have in the house Coach D, Coach Dozier. What Coach D does not know is that this holiday, part of his holiday, he will be sleeping in my house. I've not said it to him, but he does not know that part. But we're coming. All right. So we have Coach D. Coach D is the founder of Teen Success Academy, and he's also part of the very big part of the TIP team. Very, very huge part of. The people that I told you that when they say they are close to your clothes, the people that just call you and say, this, I can jump out of a session to go and know what is happening. And I can just say, just hold on, my brother is dying. I need to move. And that's who we have here. Coach Dozier is a single man, and he's a yada.
That
and
statement you just made now is going to put me in trouble, coach.
I think so. Young
So
girls,
just hold
who
on,
are
because I'll come when the trouble comes. I'll come for you.
Coach Jose, now I'm thinking I have a few young girls in the inner circle. Come on, now that I'm thinking about it, we'll talk about
I
this thing
will
at the
come for you when the trouble comes. That thing you just said now, ba. Okay.
So Coach Jose, I think Coach Jose is the first single man, well, in the inner circle. I think I have like two other people who have registered in the waiting list. Interesting. Yesterday I had Dari, Uncle Dari, register and sent me a chat. Oh, coach, I'm waiting at the waiting list. That young man is 26. Omo.
Hmm.
And yet, parents are asking me, when should I start? Is it time yet? My children are just toddlers. When am I supposed to enroll? And you see people who don't even have children who understand the place of systems and structures. Now, let's talk a bit about TIP annual conference. Coach Dozier, that's a stage you've spoken on for years. You've not just spoken on it, you have been part of that stage for years. You've been an integral part of that stage. I think since I met, Coach D, and for the record, even though we live in Abuja, we met online. Funny enough, and um, and
Yeah.
since you've been part of that system, just share a little about the TIP annual conference, the experience, your experience personally speaking at the conference, your experience attending the conference. I think I like the fact that they are bringing us speakers and participants, together. So share with us.
Okay. So the TIP annual conference is sure we used to call it we call it the Shiloh of parenting. It's like where you want to be every year, and
Mm-hmm.
with 30 speakers on one stage telling you how to be a parent. I'm going to speak a little bit about those who are not parents yet, right? And I'm speaking because and then when I say biological parents, I've had young people um come and live in my house, and I see all the wahala from. I've concluded that almost all the problems that young people are facing in their lives today, and all of us, can be traced back to parenting. Everything can be traced back to parenting, whether it's finances, whether it's spirituality, whatever, name it, it can be traced back to parenting. And many people, I have a few young adults on our mentorship. I think lately we have like two of them that are in their 20s, which is exceptional. I really don't want to go to that level, but when parents want you to do these things and you just get involved with those who are, you know, in because if you're in your 20s, you should be doing something else. And I see the struggles that these guys have. I see the struggles, and I rather would prefer to stay with the preteens, the teenagers, because I would tell parents, I say it's something that is still on the way out than to mend one big building that you guys have messed up. But we're going to do our best and say it. So the earlier you are in the TIP, the better for you. But then speaking to the TIP annual conference, it's like a convergence of all the experiences in the industry. And I'm careful with that word. I would rather say in the ministry, because parenting is your biggest ministry. And so you want to listen to all the experiences, all the voices that are coming from, and these guys are practicing from different parts of the world. So the things you think it's your Nigerian problem, you're going to see that is not your Nigerian problem. The things you think is your African problem. When Nigerians want to talk about parenting, they make it look like those are careless. Those in the West are doing something that is so terrible. But then you get to see that you might actually be the one that is in the wrong. You might actually be the one that is in the wrong, because when you see what's happening from diverse parts of the world, and so you want to be on that place. One of the things I started doing this last year is, like Coach Wendy has said, I'm very, very involved in the TIP annual conference, backstage and in the front of the stage. So I get to sit down to listen to all those sessions, 30 of them. Even after the conference last year, I had to sit down. 2 years ago, I had to sit down, listen to all of those things. Come back again last year, listen to all of those things. So you don't want to miss any part of it. That conference is your taster of what is going on in the inner circle. All right. There are a few other programs that TIP, the academy, runs that is like a taster of what is going on, because everything you're going to hear on the stage of the TIP annual conference, it's more like a summarized, condensed version of your last 1 year programs. Everybody in the inner circle knows to join the TIP annual conference, listen to it, because it makes more sense to those in the inner circle than those that are coming in. But if you're yet on your way in, you want to have an idea of what it is you are getting prepared for. You want to have an idea of what it is that you are going to be doing in your next 1 year. So for about 1 week or thereabout, you want to take out time, and it's not like a whole day's thing. So the timing is also structured in a way that you can accommodate. So you want to put it in your schedule and listen to some of the sessions, and then when you have all of the time, listen to all of the session. Your every part of your life will benefit from the TIP annual conference. Every part of your life, your parenting journey, your marital journey with your spouse is going to benefit from that conference. Are going to benefit from that. Every part of the parenting conference. So you want to and study and all of that, because essentially, I think it was Bishop David Oyedepo that says every man's mountain is his ignorance. There is your ignorance that is your mountain. And so you want to deal with that mountain. I'm a
But he
spiritual
says
person, so
that
when I talk,
there's
some
no
people,
mountain anywhere. No mountain. Mountains don't exist. Your mountain is your ignorance. That's your own mountain.
there's no mountain anywhere. It's your ignorance.
There's no.
It's your ignorance. And so when we talk, sometimes it looks as if we're not spiritual people. There are things that we should be solving with knowledge. Some will rather go to prayer meetings and go and pray. And time that you should be spending building your relationship with God, you are spending it binding demons that don't exist. If the demons existed, you would have been doing something nice. But you are binding things that are not anywhere. They live in your head. And so you want to go where you will really bind the demons. You will really, really bind the demons. And one of those places you want to be in the month of July is the TIP annual conference, and you will be glad you did. If you are listening to me and you are somewhere in between, take it from somebody who has been around for a few years. You will be glad that you did. There's something I say in my church, coach, and I don't mind saying it here. I used to tell them, a church thing changes in your life, what money you spent, and I'll refund it to you. So I don't mind telling you on this place that if you sit down and go through the TIP annual conference, for your data, I think that's the much it's going to cost you. All right. So it is that guaranteed for you if you go through the conference. We'd like to see you be doing the right thing with your parenting journey. So that's my overview of the TIP annual conference.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach D, for sharing with us about this. Is somebody, like he said, who is both at the back and in front of TIP annual conference. I do not think that there are many people like that who are speakers and who are also, in the background, of the TIP annual conference, sharing what the TIP annual conference is. I like how Coach D put it. It will affect your whole being. Everything about you will be touched. And a lot of the people, when you are not in the academy, you attend the conference, the first 2 days, you are literally like, what is happening here? Like, what did I just hear? And it's interesting, the keynote speaker this year is somebody who is very scientific and very structural and very systematic. That's Praise Fuowe. And Praise Fuowe is going to come with, when you're done listening to praise, you're like, okay, where do I start from? And I'm sure that is not going to happen to parents in the inner circle, because we live on structures. Yesterday, I was looking at something. Sorry, I was, reading something yesterday, and it was something about structures, systems. And in that thing, I wrote something down. That's what I'm trying to bring my jotter. Like Dozier said, I'm a book person. All right. And in that thing, one of the things that I wrote down was the first step in creating systems is modeling someone else. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is that we've been able to do in the inner circle. That's the only way you can produce speed. That's the only way you can produce speed. I have seen a lot of people come to me to say, "Oh, this inner circle thing, now are we going to learn?" And in parenting today, and I was talking with Prespo where the last time he was in Abuja, you cannot do parenting by intuition. I think
True.
that's trial and error.
True.
There
And
are
that's what a
systems.
lot of us do.
Yes,
That's what a
there
lot of
are
persons
systems.
do.
I heard John Maxwell say that the world mass produces average. Once you find someone who is good at something, model them, because there is a mass production of mediocrity, mass production. And yesterday, Coach Omalala put it in a very nice way. She said the truth is not common. The truth is not common. You can't find it everywhere. So, and that for her, that's what she's looking for, the truth. And if your parenting is wrong, if something is wrong, it's as a result of the system you don't have or the system that you didn't follow. It's a simple thing. It's as a result of the system you don't have or the one that you have created you didn't follow. Check it. Every time something is wrong in your parenting journey, it's either you don't have systems or you did not follow a system.
Or you did not follow the systems.
Or you did not follow the system. Once
And
you
you're not
begin
better off than the person that doesn't have. If you have
that
it and you're
doesn't
not
have
following it.
exactly. So what we do at the inner circle, is to create systems. So part of the systems we put in place is the TIP annual conference. So the TIP annual conference is like so an inner circle parents listening to the TIP annual conference is going to go with a million stuff. A parent who is not in the inner circle will probably go with like a 10 box. Now I'm just trying to give, put the difference. But the most important thing is that the TI panel conference is a good place to start. I know a lot of people who, when they got into the annual conference, that's what transformed their journey. That's how they started to say, okay, there's something that I'm doing that, is not making sense. It was through the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. That's how I know a few, people who are now very, hey, and all of that about their parenting. I tell this story. I have permission to tell it. A particular parent who I met during the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, whose child has been taken by the government and about to be transitioned from a girl to a boy. The government has taken her over. When she met me, it was at the point, she was at her wit end. She was going to just give up, suicidal, and all of that. And I asked her a question. And she said that question turned around everything that she was thinking. So today, as we speak, she joined the Masterpiece Mentorship that, was starting from women. She sent me a chat. She said, it's as if there's something about you. She hasn't met me more than 1 month. She said, after that call, that one-on-one session I had with you for my daughter, my life took a new turn. So she's a yada in waiting. She's waiting in the inner circle. And she said, Coach, I am going to hold you. As in, the way I will hold you, she lives in Canada. She said, I'm going to hold you. The way I hold you, you'll be wondering what is happening. She said, if people understand the price I have paid for ignorance, they will understand why I am going to pay. She said to me yesterday, she said, there's nothing you will do. Even if it will cost me $1 million, I will look for it. Because I know how much I have paid for being ignorant.
For not knowing.
That struck me. It struck me. She said, if I had met you just 3 years before this time, my daughter wouldn't have been in trouble. I'm talking about Nigerian parents. I'm not talking about foreigners. We are very, when somebody is speaking at TIP annual conference, you hear the chat buzzing, tell them. I'm like, who are these them?
The people that are at the back.
Is it not all of us? Yeah, tell people that they can't
The
hear
people
you.
at the back, they need to
Is it
hear
not
it.
all of us that they
All
are
of us
telling
are at the back.
all of us now? And you're shouting, tell them. Meanwhile, it is everything we take ourselves out. And that's why you see things like the TIP annual conference. You're like, my parenting is good. I'm really, I'm doing well. Parenting is not my problem. What I need now is
we don't need to learn parenting.
Yes, it's for my career. I just need to make more money. My parenting is doing okay. And like Omolola said yesterday, you wonder why people get into the inner circle and their businesses blossom. It's because it is about you. So it is you that is on the table. So newsflash, if you are coming to the inner circle, you can see there's don't have a child. He's in the inner circle. If you are coming to the inner circle with the mindset of, I want to change this child, once I enter, I will change this child will become perfect. You are in the wrong circle. You are coming for the wrong thing.
You will be shook.
So you need to be ready. You are the one that will be flogged. That's the word. You are the one that will be flogged. Sometimes you're done. You're wondering, did coach come to my house? I didn't. Did anybody come to tell you about me? Nobody tells me about anybody. You can be sure about that one. I don't even listen. I don't even have the time to listen. So, it will be you. It will be directed to you, particularly. Dozie had shared earlier. Yes.
I was going to say, there's something you always say, parenting is not an emergency. Parenting is not an emergency. The way I see a lot of parents do things is the emergency kind of parenting. Like the problem has come, and part of being in that inner circle, coach, is that idea of, I used to look at medical doctors, right? You go into a hospital and you bring this case that is, you think that the doctor should not be jumping with you. And one day, many years ago, I was living in a different, I won't mention where, and I almost slapped a doctor because they brought in this guy that was mad from an accident, and the doctor was just there doing one thing. He said, I knew he was dead or something. One funny statement he made that actually ruffled me. But over time, I've got to understand that, you see, you with a training is different from the other person. If you understand, like you have said, a system, you're not bothered about what becomes an emergency for other people. If you are waiting until the problem has happened, you are now looking for, and then you start calling Coach Wendy, Coach, who is the person that is going to do this for me? And what can I do? And that's another thing, right? Can I still be heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can't see Coach
Go
again.
ahead.
Can I be heard? Okay. You start looking for, that's another thing that it needs to be said is, if you come into the inner circle expecting for a magic wand, it's not going to happen. There is no magic wand anywhere. The magic is in the process. The magic is in the system. The magic is in you doing the work. So people come, they come to you and they just present the problem and they expect for you to put a one-line solution to it. And there is no solution that is as simple as that. You got to do the work. You got to do the time. Recently, I started telling people, stop going to mentors and coaches and tell them to help you in 1 month. You will finish that 1 month thing and run away and say that person does not know what he's doing because what you are dealing with needs time.
Yes.
What you're dealing with needs time. So you really have to get into a process and settle down. Like Coach is saying, first deal with you. The guy that wrote Atomic Habits, James Clear, I believe, he said how you do one thing is how you do the other thing. So if you really will settle down and fix just one aspect, which is you're going to realize that the child will sort him or herself out, your business, your spouse. Some persons, it's my husband that is the problem. No, it's not your husband that is the problem. Or if only this person. No. Just realize that there are no emergencies. When I say these things, I say with caution. A lot of times, what we call emergency is lack of preparedness, lack of understanding, ignorance, and then you get into one place. If you meet somebody else who has got knowledge, who has got some level of experience and training, they are seeing the same problems you're seeing, and they are looking at it differently because they have the equipment, they have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah.
Whole thing works. You really should, again, you really should consider it. You really should consider it.
So thank you so much, Coach D. And we're talking about systems, structures. Nothing works outside of systems. Nothing works outside of structure. And Coach D, one of the things that I see parents, they come when it is the last lap. I remember when
True.
this woman reached out to me and said, at this point, the truth of the matter is that I can't offer you anything. Am I supposed to go and fight the government of Canada, or which part of it now? Where do we come in? So let me offer you what I have. You need to work on you. And that's the most interesting part of my job, where it is you that is the center of it. Leave every other thing, leave every other person. And if we keep waiting until there is a problem to reach out to a coach, to get mentored, then we're never going to solve any problem at all. We like the fire brigade approach. Hey, they said that some 11-year-old is sleeping with some 10-year-old in one school. You will see parents, they'll come, hey, I hear that you're a parent coach. Hey, what can you teach me? How can I help my child? I just look at them, I laugh.
We cannot help you.
We cannot help you. That's not how they used to help people like this, like that. All right? It's a system. So, Coach D, tell us about what you do with teenagers. Tell us a bit. We want to get into your world of teenagers. I don't know how they do it. I usually tease them, all of them, my people that work with teens. I say to them, I cannot. You know how I don't know how they do it. I guess some of us are given the special graces. I take my own grace and I sit in my own grace.
and Coach Wendy will always tell us, this thing we call grace is work, man. It is work, but it's okay when we say it's grace, and God has graced everybody differently. Recently, I was telling Governor, by the way, Governor, Coach Wendy's husband, is also my coach in the business area, and then we get to do stuff like that. So I was telling him, I think it was a few days ago, I was telling him, I said, Gov, we're overhauling this whole thing, but there has to be something else around it, because again, it's in the process. It's in the process, and working with teenagers can be nerve-wracking. It can be you're talking to one child, and it's obvious that this guy doesn't want to listen to you. He's just here because his mother told him to come and sit down.
I know, right?
And then say, okay, you're in between. Do I just go ahead and just tell you what I want to tell you because your parents have paid, or do we really want to get results? And then you have to go back to this parent and say, this thing is going to take more than, what I said about 1 month. I said, this is not a 2 months problem, 3 months problem. Maybe in the next 3 months, we are still building relationship with this young man, and then we're still finding our flow around it. So young people generally, because there's a lot of energy, and that's something that parents need to understand as well, is you live in a different generation. Recently, I think it was last month, we're doing a series on music, right? The fact that parents are quarreling with their children on the choice of songs they listen. Oh, you like to listen to all this type of thing, and I say, hey, do you remember that even when you were a teenager, you and your father also had the same quarrel? So why are you treating it like it's something new? Every generation is going to find their flow. And so being able to understand the culture of the time, being able that scripture that says that the sons of Issachar understood the times and they knew what Israel ought to do. So you first have to get into the times and understanding the times. So you're talking to teenagers in this generation. You have to understand that technology plays a big role in the life of every teen today. And so when Coach Wendy started talking about screen time. Years ago, Coach Wendy was talking about screen time, screen time, screen time, screen time, and people will not understand it. TIP, by the way, everybody listening to me, TIP is ahead of its time. You should know that. So you are here, you are listening to things, you are getting training before it is coming to you, and that is the preparedness, because what is coming will come. What is coming will arrive on these shores,
Yes,
and you can take that for call it prophecy, call it anything. It will come. The question is, how prepared are we for when it is coming? And so that's the journey with dealing with teenagers, helping parents dealing with their children, is really getting young people prepared for what their time is. When we talk about education, for instance, the education that we are still doing in this part is more or less outdated. And so you have a young person that is in touch with every part of the world simply because you gave that child a device. And so they are listening to things, they are hearing things, and they are implementing. One good thing with teenagers is once they get interested, forget implementation, they will do it. They will practice it, they will try it out, and all of those things. So somebody wrote in the comment section, Flood Nabia. Yes, Flood Nabia. yeah, Flood Nabia. But so build your ark, all right? Build your ark, because Flood Nabia. Parents and their teenagers relationship. Coach Wendy will always say, by the time your child becomes a teenager, you get to another floor of your parenting. Your authority level has changed. And so I see parents wanting to wield that same authority level with a child that is already beginning to assert themselves. And one of the things we try to do is to tell parents, assertiveness is a very important skill for a young person. If you were trained in that African style, or what we call African, that is not really African, if you are trained in that toxic style of parenting where you shut down, where you were shouted down and things like that, and you're dealing with this young person who is not going to more or less take it, you have to understand how to harness that assertiveness, how to harness your child's independence, and then gently guide them through. One of the most amazing set of young people that I have worked with, they have been in the academy 3 years running now. And so we're now beginning to say, those boys send me on their own. They just write thank you notes and send to me out of the blues. I'm like wondering, okay, what happened now? Why is this guy sending me this stuff? But you see, I mentioned that because over time, we have built a system, we have built a structure. They know when to. They're the ones that we say, Uncle D, are we not having class today? Are we not doing this tomorrow? And things like that. So if you come to me, for instance, and you want, like I said, a fire brigade solution for teenagers, it does, just like it does not work for adults. It does not work. I like to let us first understand that these are human beings. They are just in a different age bracket. And so it takes a while to help them build structure. It takes a while to help them build. And I'm big on this independence thing, because if you're raising a 19-year-old that is still strapped to your umbilical cord, you have a problem. You should be nurturing that child's independence and launching them into the world. You are raising an adult. You are not raising a child. By the time you are done parenting, the product should be a responsible adult. And that's what we try to do at the Teen Success Academy with all the different programs that we have. And like Coach mentioned, boot camp is coming, holiday is coming. I was listening to Coach, was it this week when you were talking about summer lessons? If schools are vacating and you are finding another school to go and send a young person to go and continue learning math, English, I think that we do these things for the parents, and we're not really thinking what is in the interest of the child. You want to still go to your work and not be disturbed with one child that you left at home, so you're looking for somewhere else. But meanwhile, you can build some alternative structures. We keep mentioning this word structure. So when you build those structures, that is what we help your child to your children to do. Build a structure that they will own for themselves, and you see them run with it. It's going to be very, very amazing.
Thank you so much, Coach D. Coach D, you didn't say much about the boot camp. I'm sure
Boot
some
camp,
people.
yeah, boot camp is coming in. Boot camp is starting on the 12th of August. So you want to sign up for boot camp now. I know there is still an early bird running. It's going to run maybe for about 1 or 2 weeks again. The 360 Success Bootcamp is a 14-day virtual experience with your teenagers. And so they get into a space where we will help them build structure. One of the most consistent testimonies for bootcamp is, oh, this child now wakes up on their own, they do their chores and all of that. If you are still fighting with your 10-year-old about what time to wake up and what time to go to bed, send them to the bootcamp. They will correct something there. If you're still fighting with them about all the things that they should be doing, taking responsibility, send them to a boot camp. A boot camp is where they will learn amongst themselves, peers. Sometimes these days when we come to boot camp, we just sit down and show them the timetable. Oh yeah, you guys run it. You're the ones that will lead your activity, except for the master classes where a coach will actually have to come and teach. But after teaching, we're big on helping young people implement. And so for 14 days, they're going to be there. And because it's virtual, they are available the whole of the day. We will have activities for them running every day for those 14 days. The fee as at today is 20,000 naira. It will go up. I know it will go up before August, but you can join us today. Sign up. Coach Wendy and the rest of the team will be able to help me put out the registration links if you are interested.
Thank you so much, Coach D. If you're interested in sending, so let me not say if you're interested. So my son was at the very first, boot camp, and was that the first or the second, Coach
And that
D?
was the first. That was the
That was,
first.
and one of the things that Coach D is big on is your spiritual growth. So,
Mhm.
and he's a pastor, by the way. He doesn't like that part to say, "Oh, so my pastor," and all of that. But yes, he's a pastor. So he's a youth pastor in his church, and he was teaching them. I was listening to them, and I realized that these children started to they do devotional early in the morning. At the time when I saw the timetable, I was like, almost see drilling. And I saw how the children were, as in, they were running. My son was literally running every morning that year. Like, you want me to be late for my class? It was something else. I can't even forget. He was quite young. He was 9 or so, 10. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I think it was 10.
He was
I was
10.
10. Yeah,
Ayo
yes.
was 10. He's 13 now. And these are all of the things that have helped, people like Ayo be able to become a timekeeper in school. He's the only junior student that is a prefect in the whole of his school. And they say for years now, they've not found a junior student to be a prefect. And of course, he appears and he was fit. Fit for the master's use.
It has to be fit. It has to be fit.
Was fit for the master's use. And it wasn't surprising because I had already also seen the training. So you do not know how much some of these trainings, how far they go. This scheduling the children to be able to keep to time and all of that. Small, small things. And there's something that his housemaster said to me the very first time that he went to school. He said, if every son could be like your son, we will not have a problem in the boarding system. And I was like, huh? He said, when I want help, when I want somebody to help me organize their meet, I just call Ayo. He's like, Ayo, just come. And he will just tell them, you need to do this. You need to, and he's an amazing leader because he knows how to connect to people. I
Mm.
remember one of those days, he had come back from primary school. He wasn't always like that, right? In primary school, he wasn't always like that. He was trained to. In fact, our daughter was the one who was a governor and all of that in primary school. He had come one day, I think that was in primary 6, and he was having a conversation with his twin sister. And his twin sister said, why is it that people even like you? Everybody just likes you. Everybody just wants to talk to you. What is it that you do? And then he said, it's because I just listen to them and I proffer solution without judging them. And he made me laugh so loud. Like he was just, I'm like, what is this one talking about? You know, but it counted for something. So leadership, all right. Leadership is about being able to also drive empathy, and this is one of the things that we teach in the academy. Drive children who are empathic. So you see Ayo drive his own mates, and they are able to actually listen because he's able to connect. And this comes from a lot. It goes a long way with parenting because that's what he understands. That's the leadership skills he understands in the home. So you can't give what it is that you do not have. So it's so easy for you to get Ayo in a space and he's leading, and moving. And these are some of the things I'm telling you before you say, what, coach, what did you do? I'm telling you what I have done. These are some of the things that we do. So as young as when it was 9, 10, they started going to camps. Please send your children to a camp this holiday. In fact, for inner circle parents, I tell them it's compulsory. Don't come to me and tell me, oh, my child cannot. Inner circle parents send their children from Asaba, from Lagos, from wherever, and send them to Abuja for camp. I've seen it happen.
True.
Coach D, you teach in Antetima's camp. You teach in Coach.
Yeah.
You see parents send their children. They fly alone, no, because there's no lion anywhere.
Of course,
understand that aspect. Children 10, 11, they get into the city, and when you see them, I remember the first time I met David Stephen Go. He walked up to me straight. TIP children can give you one kind
amazingly,
of
amazingly. That is one of the boys I just spoke about. That's one of the boys I just spoke about. Very structured.
Very structured. The mom is, he's so structured. He met me in camp, walked up to me and said, "Are you Coach Wendy? I've heard a lot about you, ma'am, and it's such an
and then he will stretch his hand to give you a
handshake. To connect with you." I'm like, what? Such an honor to connect with you, man. I do not know. I'm like, huh? I said, who are you? He said, my name is David Stephen Go. And I knew that it was Onyinye Stephen Go's child. I went to the inner circle. He said, my mom is one of the parents in the inner circle program.
Yeah.
I went to the inner circle and I announced, I said, whose son is David Stephen Go? Meet me now at the back. The woman said, what happened? I said, what? The confidence your son has can buy a Mercedes Benz. GLK, straight.
True.
Confident, well put together. It's not you meet a child, the child is wondering, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to say it, I don't know, I'm afraid I cannot, I don't know. They are adults. Confident, as in, so these are children who are being groomed, trained. There is a lot of training that especially for your male children. Yeah. This month we're still talking about, boys. There are a lot of boys in the inner circle. So our last webinar was how not to bail out your male child. All ye bailers. Some of you are bailing both your son and your husband together. Dear mother, you are bailing everybody. That's a conversation for another day. Let me not ruffle people's feathers because this is a public forum. This is not an international forum, child. This is a public place. I'm trying very hard not to do a lot of ruffling, but we're rounding up. People are asking, where can my children go on camp? If you're in Abuja, Coach Ebuka has a camp, physical camp. Coach Etima has a physical camp. Coach Etima has a physical camp in Lagos. If you're not anywhere your children can attend physical camp, please send them to a virtual camp. Let them even start, doing something. It's about learning structures. It's about putting systems in place. Nobody becomes excellent without structures. Nobody. I do not have anybody who is excellent. I do not know one excellent person that is not a mediocre, who do not have structures. I do not have one person who is raised, an outlier, who is not raised in a system. I do not know anyone. So put your children in systems, put them in play. You subject yourself to a system. That's the only way, because that's the only way you can really prove that this thing that you're doing is actually the way you should be doing
Working.
it. All right. Thank you so much. All right, for joining us today. All right, and this is so key. Yes, so Chris Isweken said this I cannot. Some of our children are a reflection of their parents. You know, there's something we
True.
say
True.
there's something we say in the inner circle. Oh, I cannot. Oh, my child cannot. Oh, my child cannot. If you know what cannot, if you're in the yard, you understand what cannot. It's not one cannot, though. Two double cannot at the same. Cannot. Some parents will tell me, so a particular parent reached out to me one time when Koji did virtual, boot camp. Say, they wake up very early. I think 5 o'clock is really. I think the children should be sleeping. It's just holiday. I'm like, let them sleep early. When they sleep early, they wake up early. The woman was looking at me. All right,
Exactly.
this is so key. Somebody's asking what's the minimum age that can attend the virtual boot camp.
8-year-old.
8-year-old, so that they will be able to go through the drilling. Coach D is as calm as he is.
Not for 5-year-olds.
He brings fire. He's calm and very fireized. As in, he's talking very calmly, but he's telling you what should be. You're on your own. He will drag
And
you
you
like
will do it. And you will do it.
That's even the annoying and interesting part.
And you will do it.
I saw where Ayo was supposed to create something, with him and Koji, and I saw a picture of it and I sent it to Koji. Koji said, that my son, he didn't finish this part too. I'm coming for him. I had a good laugh. I was like, please go and drag him. You know where to drag him. I'm not part of it. Get your children mentors. Get them in places where they can learn. But most importantly, don't go and drop your children without you learning. If you're not learning and you just go and dump your children somewhere thinking one magic will happen, it's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's never going to happen. So it's a trip-run approach, right? Your children are learning, you're learning. Then you're telling God to now, help you. Or you're telling God to perfect it, because God has already helped you by giving you a child. He already helped. This is available already. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And we've been discussing about the TIP annual conference and also being in the inner circle. If you're a parent, you're listening to me and you're not in the inner circle yet and you have not booked for the waiting list yet, book today. There is a stroller under this particular conversation. I like conversation with Coach T. Many times when we finish having conversations, a lot come out of it. I'm sure Yadas know about honor as a skill, peace as a skill. So Coach T and I, it was a creation of our conversation. And anytime I think about honor as a skill and peace as a skill, I'm like, oh, well, it's just you don't even want to know where that is coming from. But that's a conversation for another day and for Yadas only. So so I work with very awesome people. Very, very awesome people. So if you not joined the waiting list already, before we shut the doors at you, because we're getting overwhelmed already. That's the truth. Where we have about 2,000 people on the waiting list. And I was telling my team, I said, I was telling parents in the inner circle this morning, I said, you need to, come and, ensure that, I'm still here and all of that. If not, you might be looking for yourself inside this whole thing. And, the people that are waiting, we have people that have made full payment waiting, as in a lot of them. In fact, every day you see people send me a chat and say, Coach, can we just start already? I'm like, don't worry. So 1st of December.
In July.
Yes, so 1st of December is Christmas in TIP. People wait for 1st of December like their life is dependent on it. You do not want to miss the 1st of December. Trust me. So book your slot today. And the good news is if you book a slot today, you'll be able to pay 70,000 naira instead of 100,000. Trust me. Even at 200K, the value we get in the inner circle. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you the truth. The value you get in the inner circle you go run now. When people say, what would they teach me there? I just laugh. The curriculum is not even something we can digest. And I'm sure that as we're talking, you heard
it keeps changing and the curriculum keeps improving every time.
Yes.
So that's why people that have been there even repeat the process, because you know that
you see people
you're
that have been
going
in
to
the
learn
industry
something
for 3 years. You can't get tired. It's
that's
new every day. Coach Ebuka is here. Coach Ebuka has done level 1 for 3 years. Coach Ebuka is here with me. And for those of you who are looking for physical camp in Abuja for boys, Coach Ebuka is here. My son is going to be in that camp. I haven't told him because if I tell him, he's going to come and make life easy. I want it to be. I want to follow the right medium. I'm sure as he's listening to me now, he will not know when I enter. You should not worry. I'm just telling you so that you know that I am also doing the work. So I am not just sitting down and just telling you, oh, you tried me to do this. Oh, you need to do that. No, that's not how I work. All right. That's not how I work. Pamela has been there for 3 years. Yes, Pamela Ojongo. That's how I work with. I do not practice what I preach. I preach what I practice. That's the difference with the system.
awesome.
That's the system, the difference with the system that I run. Look at this Ebuka. That's the difference with the system that I run. And please, if you're following me, Biko, follow well. Don't say, oh, are you sure that this thing coach is really doing? I'm doing it, oh. I am a parent, oh. And my results are very loud. You cannot even take it away.
You cannot argue with the result.
You cannot even
You
argue
can't
with
argue with the
results.
result.
According to Bishop Oyedebo, he said that only fools doubt proofs. Only fools are the ones that doubt proofs. You cannot see a proof and you doubt it. You will be a fool if you do that. I am not the only one that has result. In fact, the people that have result in the inner circle, look at God. God has triplets. What those boys can do at their age, my children were not doing it. That's the truth. I'm being very truthful. There are, people, there are a lot of yarders. Their children are doing things my children couldn't do at the age their children are doing it. Honestly, when I look at their result, I'm like, che, these people even cheated me safe. They even started earlier than I started. What is all this? So you can't doubt proofs. So if you're listening to us, they're overwhelming proofs. Okay. So Yadas, I'm also using this medium to also tell you, like I said, follow all the way, follow tenaciously, follow and do what it is that you have to do. Coach D, are you here? If you want details of the virtual game, reach out to the team. We will send to you. I don't know if Coach D is still here so that he can share his last words as we round off and go today. Thank you so much again for joining us on My Intentional Parenting Journey. You can always catch replay of this My Intentional Parenting Journey on our YouTube channel. All right, Coach G, so sorry about that. On our YouTube channel, and do not forget that the TIP annual conference starts on the 24th of July. If you have ever attended any of the TIP annual, this is the sixth one, you will know that we don't play small and we do not do average. Neither do we apply mediocrity. We are an excellent brand. We improve on a daily basis. So if you're coming, come ready. Come, with everything in you. The TIP annual conference is free. However, you must. It is compulsory for you to register. This TIP annual conference will not be available on Facebook or on all of those platforms. It will only be available on the private streamed YouTube part. The links are going to be scarce. You go to find them. If you not register, you go to find the link. That one, I can assure you. And if you send me chat, oh, coach, I cannot find hey, I don't know. If you will be fine looking for the link if you do not register. Because the link will be so private. As in, even if you're on this YouTube channel, the link will be so private you can't find it. So better register. That the TIP annual conference this year is very different. All right. So if you're registering for the inner circle, you can just book a slot now and pay your balance. All right. Over the month before we start on the 1st of December. Or you can just pay your fee. But if you don't book by the 31st of July, you are going to pay 100,000. And even at 100,000, trust me, there are parents who finish paying for inner circle and they give me money from every month. They say, coach, I did not pay enough. I do not believe I'm cheating you. I didn't pay enough. There are parents who pay privately to me every month. It's not bragging anything. They are here, they are listening to me and they can hear me. I'm sure you never see them comment. They're plenty. They're plenty. So do not think, I've given coach 70,000 naira. Oh, this nah. There are people who pay like times 10 of that 70,000 naira in a year, just being in the inner circle. So thank you so much for joining me. Coach D, please share with us how can you be reached on social media so that we can, let's just put it so that people
Okay,
can
it's Chedozie Eze on Facebook. It's Teen Success Academy NG on Instagram. Any of those that you drop, you will find me. 070, in case you want to send a WhatsApp message, send to 070 8034 6571. 070 8034 6571. Send a message and we will sort you out.
Alrighty, so send the message and you will be sorted out. This is Coach D's number. I hope I got the number. It's a Nigerian number. All
Yes.
right, so you can just screenshot it to reach out to him to ask him all of the questions you need to ask him. So this is my intentional parenting journey. It is a journey through the mornings where we are, creating awareness for the TIP annual conference to get people to understand what happens in the TIP annual conference, what happens in the inner circle. Inner circle parents are always dragging me. Coach, you are not talking enough about the conference. Coach, you are not talking enough about the inner circle. So we are trying everything we can so that we are not dragged. In fact, a particular parent on the wait list said, maybe if you are pushing this thing so hard, maybe I would have known about it before now. I'm like, I don't understand. I cannot know everybody now. It's not possible. So thank you so much. So register for TIP annual conference. Do not be left behind. There are 7,000 people already who are registered, who are going to be streaming live. We don't want any kind of, we don't want people that just say, let's just see what is happening. No, we want people who want to be serious to attend the conference. That conference is costing us a lot of money. I won't even lie to you. That conference cost us a lot. A lot. Our partners in support, I've already told you that in this period, Coach G doesn't sleep. Most of my team members don't sleep. They don't sleep. I mean, literally don't sleep. There are times I'll call Coach G in the morning and I'm like, Dozie, how far? He said, Coach, I've been awake. I never sleep. As in, I'm still awake till now. I'm talking about 2 a.m. I'm talking about sometimes 5 a.m. We don't sleep during this period. The human resources that go in, the money that go in, the bodily resources, if there's anything like that, that go in, cannot be something people will trample on. So we decided this year that is either you want to watch the TIP annual conference for real or you don't. So we're not making it public. We're not giving it to everybody. No, if you're not registered, you're not getting the TIP annual conference. So you are going to just be out. So you better register so that you can be in. And for our sponsors, we already have people who are sponsoring the TIP annual conference. If you're interested in being part of the sponsors to support the program and also partner to also bring your products in the faces of people, all right, so that it will be marketed. Please reach out to
Please come and sponsor. Come use your money to sponsor good things.
Use your money. Use your money. It's not BB Nigeria. If it's BB Nigeria, you'll be voting. They will tell you.
Doing show. You go and put your money. Buy a table for 10.
Come and sponsor TIP annual conference. Don't say, oh, I like the work you people are really doing. It's really nice. That's not where you
keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work. We don't want to keep it up without your support. Come and support us. We need the support. It is very important to us. Yes, we need it, and we are soliciting. We are bringing some of the speakers. You pay as much as $10,000 to bring some of them. It's not free.
You know, if you don't say it, you think that 30 speakers are for free.
Yes. So you need to understand that it's either we have used our position, which is also not free, because relationship is not free. Having Dozie to speak at the annual conference is not free. It's not free. So there are currencies we are exchanging to make this TIP annual conference happen. We are exchanging currencies ranging from favor, money, relationship, men, name it. So do not think that the TIPNR conference is just something that, we're just, saying all these things that, it's just one of those. No, it's not one of those. We go scouting for the best of the best ever that you can find. We've done this for 6 years, and we are going to continue to do it with the support and the help of God. Thank you so much again for joining me. Reach out to Coach D. This is his number. I think reaching out on his number is the best bet. All right. Or you can follow him on social media at Chiodozie Eze on Facebook. Look for him. Register for that boot camp. Do something. Don't finish this session and say, wow, the things I heard. Wow. Don't come and wow us. Take action. All right. Somebody is answering my son name. Who is this person now? I wish Inner Circle Academy will start in August. Ologe on Money Day. Who is this Ologe on Money? Are you related to my people? What is the issue? Why are you, when I see people answering my son name just like that, it feels like I've lost somebody somewhere. Please, Ologe, is this the Ologe of our Ologe? Or where? I want to know. I'm very curious. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Coach D, thank you. Please share your last words.
You, Coach. Thank you very much, Coach. My last word is go and register for all the things we have talked about. Register for the conference, register for TIP Inner Circle. It's the best gift you can give yourself in 2023. Get knowledge, get wisdom, so that person that will flood Nabia, so that you will, so that you can prepare for flood. You can build your ark. Yes. That's a sure way to build your ark against the flood. So that's it. Thank you, Coach. Thank you for always having us. Thank you for plenty things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach D, and thank you to you too. Even though you don't want me to tell, I will report you very soon on a public forum. But I'm coming. I don't know what to do, but I'm coming for you. But it's fine. Thank you again, and it's so good. I am honored. I love you. I honor you, and of course, you know that you're one of the best gifts that I have on this journey. Thank you so much for always being there. Alrighty. Thank you everybody for joining me today. It's been an awesome journey with you this morning. It's TIP, my intentional parenting journey. Somebody said Ologe from Kogi State. This is my Ologe now. Please send me a chat. Send me a chat. You're probably related to my husband. Oh yeah, come to backstage. You should have my number. Come and send me a chat. Let's talk this Ologe at the backyard. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It's been such a pleasure. Remember, you can always catch replay. Remember that we would always be here to help you. I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you. I am particularly honored that for every time you're here listening, and I look forward to being your coach. I really look forward, if I'm not your coach already, I look forward to being able to share the buzzwords that I have for you, and you getting angry and then getting happy and then kissing me and then hugging me and then saying coach and then coming back again. I look forward to all of that. Thank you so much. And shout out, please. One of the things that you want to do for us is to follow Coach D. Shout out to you, Coach D. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Hi, Sharon. I love you too, Sharon. And hey, to you, Yadas, you know that I love you guys. I just love you guys. Somebody said, what is that thing that they would say to you that can be a dealer for you? It was on social media. I said, I don't know. Somebody tagged me a Yada and said, Coach, let them just say that one Yada has one. You will just fly. I said, hey, it's as if you guys are giving me jazz. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Follow Coach D, Chiedozie Eze, on social media, or you can chat in with that number and be there. And thank you again to all of the heavy others. They know themselves. And see you tomorrow at 8. Have an amazing day, everybody. And see you tomorrow.